Right here, down. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family, I'll do 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, cause that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. It's your bull, Mr. Owens. And after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes.
What's going on, family? It's your man, Big Huss, the one you trust. Tap it in with that midnight green medicine. Now, y'all know we got a lot to chop it up about. Phillies are making headlines all off season, and the national conversation around the team continues to get more and more interesting. Now, the Eagles are entering another championship caliber season, as we well know. They went through major changes, they made some difficult decisions, and now analysts across the NFL are starting to recognize, as they should, something that the Eagles fans already knew for a long time, man. Howie Roseman is him. He knows what he's doing. Y'all know what's up. It's always Howie season, right? But there's still some questions. How the offense is going to look without A.J. Brown? Can Sean Mannion successfully take over as offensive coordinator and send this offense into an upward trajectory? Is Jonathan Greenard the missing piece? Hey, that takes his defense to another level. Now, if that's the case, because we know how good this defense has been, if he could take this defense up a notch, I'm scared. It's scary hours for the rest of the league, man. I'm just being honest. And why is QB1, though, still being ranked lower than most quarterbacks he's already outperformed? It just doesn't make sense. Now, as we look around, though, the entire NFL, the Eagles are actually the most complete roster heading into 2026. I believe that. I would hope that, the viewers will believe that as well. But today, we're going to break it all down. Hold up. Let's skip over something. No. Okay. I thought I skipped something. My bad. I'm going to start it from around. Okay, I got you. And then when we look around the NFL, I believe as Eagles fans, we can honestly say the Eagles are the most complete roster heading into 2026. I really can't see anyone pound for pound being more complete than we are heading into the season. But today, fam, we're going to break it all down. We're going to break it down the right way. Y'all know how we give it to y'all. But before we jump into that, you already know my brother, Mr. Owens. Got to holler at you real quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Huss, thank you for that. Look, y'all already know, to our loyal supporters, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel and our brand in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And last but not least, make sure to turn on them noties and keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood watch. Wow. So you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all.
Y'all know the vibe. So the message was sent. I already know it was received. Come on now. But let's jump right into it for real. So one of the biggest stories this week came from ESPN's analytics writer, Seth Walder, who released his offseason grades for all 32 teams in the NFL. And guess what? Who's at the very top? You already know, man. Our Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles received an A grade, which is one of the highest grades given in the entire league. Uh,
Makes sense.
oh, come on now. Especially with Howie Roseman at the helm. Howie Roseman, Jeff Lurie. We can't miss. Right? Now, there were only two other teams that finished right behind Philly. And that was the Chargers and the Miami Dolphins, who both received A minus grades. Who cares about them? But whenever we talk about offseason grades, we have to understand something, right? These grades are not about who won the offseason on paper. They're about who made the smartest moves to improve their football team moving forward. And as we all know, Howie Roseman is a forward thinking man. He's always a year or two or three ahead of the rest of the league. And that's what
Yes.
makes him the guru in which that he is, right? Look, at the end of the day, as Eagles fans, we can say that we probably have the greatest GM of this era. I can't see who we can really put ahead of Howie Roseman at this time. And as we go through tonight's segment, we're gonna break down some more of his moves and how it's gonna impact, our 2026 Eagles.
Hey, Huss, I couldn't agree with you more, bro. I don't see another GM in the NFL that is in Howie's caliber. You
Oh
have the
man,
Brett Beaches in Kansas City, John Snyder out in Seattle. You have some,
you have some GMs.
yeah, some solid GMs, but what Howie Roseman does is, man, he runs circles around these GMs. To your point, he stays years and steps ahead of other GMs. I remember that one GM, I believe it was the Raiders GM, that kind of jokingly said, well, I don't know if he was joking or not. You know how some of them, because Howie is really ski mask. But
Correct.
he said that when he sees the area code 215, shout out to the 215, y'all know the vibes.
Oh yeah, I heard
But
that.
come on, man. He said when he sees 215 pop up on his phone, they don't answer the phone. They're reluctant and hesitant to answer the phone, and I would be too if I was a GM and Howie Roseman was calling, because Howie Roseman, he has always had a knack for understanding the GM role. We all know that Howie Roseman took over as GM for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2010. He had his ups and he has had his downs, but he has had more ups than downs. And with Howie, you know that he loves his draft capital. You know he's a wizard. He studied finance. So you know he's great with numbers and the calculations and things like that. And I just don't see another GM that does what Howie Roseman does year in and year out here for our Philadelphia Eagles. And he's one of the main reasons. And as Big Huss said, Jeffrey Lurie is not scared to sign those checks because he
Yep.
trusts Howie and his decision making with a lot of the players that we bring here to Philadelphia, whether that be drafting the player or bringing them via trade or free agency. You have to fit a certain criteria to play here in Philadelphia. The standard is the standard. We uphold our standard. And look, for the past 20 years, you can see what the standard has been in Philadelphia. We've played in three Super Bowls in the last 10 years?
Yep.
A lot of teams can't say that, Big Huss. That's 30% of the Super Bowls. And we have to give a lot of credit to our very own Howie Roseman. But while we're still on the topic of one Howard Roseman, Seth Walder from ESPN highlighted three major categories. So he highlighted the biggest move was trading AJ Brown. But the move that Seth Walder liked was the signing of Reek Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks. But he had a move that he did question, and that was extending Jordan Davis. I don't know why that was a question. Jordan Davis has been night and day from when we first drafted him. You can see that he's taking football seriously. You can see that he's taking his health and his body seriously, because Jordan Davis has flipped on that light switch. And when that light switch is on, Thomas Edison style, it ain't no stopping JD and Breadman in the middle, man. Me and Big Huss have been very supportive of Jordan Davis. We even loved the when he came out in the draft and we got him in the draft. Jordan Davis has been exceptional for us here in Philadelphia. But before anybody jumps down in the comment section, y'all know where it's at, right underneath the screen. Let's talk about this realistically, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. So, the AJ Brown trade, again, we all know it wasn't an easy pill to swallow, but nobody should pretend losing a player of AJ Brown's caliber and ability is meaningless to our franchise. AJ Brown was a player who helped change the identity of Philadelphia's offense. We know that. His physicality, his ability after the catch, his confidence and swagger, his ability to make game changing plays and game defining moments, those things matter. But sometimes, as an organization, as we all know, you have to recognize when a relationship and a situation have reached a point where both parties moving forward is the best decision for that time. And this is where Howard Roseman deserves all the credit. We have to give him his flowers because instead of losing leverage in the AJ Brown trade, instead of waiting too long to trade AJ Brown, instead of allowing the situation to continue to become a distraction here in Philadelphia, Howie said, we about to kill all that. Forget all that. Look, I want all the smoke with this trade, okay? He turned a difficult situation into a future asset. Me and Big Hus always talk here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents about Howard Roseman loving his draft capital and compensation. So, in return of us trading AJ Brown to the New England Patriots, again, if you haven't heard, we received a 2028 first round pick and also a 2027 fifth round pick. But this is the type of move that keeps a championship window open because we have to, again, be realistic, everyone. AJ Brown was making top 5 receiver money in the NFL. Then on top of that, we already have the most expensive offense in the entire NFL. But when you think about it from a business standpoint, let's put on Howie's thinking cap right now, or let's put on his ski mask. On defense, we have a very young defense, a lot of players on their rookie deals, so they're easy to control their contracts. But then you got to think, we got a lot of young talent, a lot of cornerstone pieces on that side of the football. You got Breadman looking for a contract. You're going to have Quignon and Coop looking for contracts. So that's 3 right there where, even if they don't get the top dollar for their position, they're going to be in the top 3 to top 5 contract range when it's all said and done. And Howie is getting ahead of the curve, to Husky's point, and making sure that we have the amount of money that we need to allocate to those individuals to continue to keep our championship window open here in Philadelphia.
For sure. And that's exactly what I gained from that. Howard Roseman is putting on his Wizards hat. He's looking into the future. He's seeing what's coming down the pipeline. He's like, I have to create a little bit more asset flexibility here.
Yes.
Right? And the only way you can really do that is, like you said, top offense in the league. You got to start moving some pieces around there. And AJ Brown still, I believe, had another after the season with another year on his contract.
I think he was signed until 2028 or 2029. It was one of them.
Right. So you're getting out ahead of it to where instead of letting them walk, you're getting some good quality draft compensation for him. Right. And yes, you lose a major piece, but then you fill that void by doing some other things. Right. It's just classic Howie moves. He's being smart about it. He's being realistic about the situation. He's looking at the team, like, as you said, looking at some of the cornerstone pieces. Who can we do with and who can we do without?
Yes.
And at the time, AJ Brown is a without. And, it worked out for everybody in the end. He got to be where he wanted to be. We're in a better situation, team-wise. It just all worked out. But
and Hus, real quick, to your point, especially with AJ Brown approaching 30 years old.
On top of
In
that,
NFL terms and football terms, a 30-year-old receiver is starting to get past their prime, starting to get old. And then, as we know, he had that knee issue and continues having a knee issue. So, that's what Howie was kind of putting it all on the table and saying, hey, okay, let's weigh the pros and the cons with AJ Brown. Then it didn't help on top of that. On the field and off the field, you were causing distractions. You're reading books on the sideline. We love AJ Brown, but I mean, when it all boils down, as we already said, it was best for both parties to go
yeah,
their separate ways.
for sure. Like I
Mm.
said, so the trade makes sense from a business perspective, but there's no denying Philadelphia they're losing a big time player. Arguably,
Yes.
like we said, top five in his position, top three in some circles, right?
Mm.
AJ Brown was still productive, but even during what many consider maybe some down season, look, he finished with productive ranks for real, top 10, top five, right? Best seasons in Eagles history.
Hmm.
His words, best who ever did it. You know he was up there, right?
Oh, nutty for that.
He a wild one. He a wild one for that, right? But now you sit back and the questions become: can the Eagles replace that production, right? And can they replace it by committee? And this is where Howie Roseman made some interesting moves. Howie once again doing what Howie does. I understand that we lost a big time name, so it's going to be subtraction by addition in a sense, right?
Yes.
The Eagles trade for Dontavian Wicks. We get Makai Lemon first round. We bring in Hollywood Brown. They add Elijah Moore. Then, meanwhile, we still have Smitty, who's ready to step up into a larger role. He won't shy away from the action and the cameras. He's always about it, right? So the Eagles are basically
Ah,
saying we may not replace AJ Brown with one player. We'll replace it with the entire room. So now everybody's getting a little bit of love. They're spreading the wealth.
mhm.
And that's something that we have to watch closely. I'm hoping that's the game plan because the Eagles don't need one receiver to come AJ Brown. We're not looking for another AJ Brown. We don't have that body style and physicality even in that room. The offense has to evolve. It has to take that next step forward. Jalen is going to have to learn to get through them progressions, hitting whoever is open, no matter whose name is on the back of the jersey. Even though I don't feel like we'll have a lot of players begging for targets or clamoring for targets. I think everybody kind of knows the situation that they're in, and if they don't, I'm sure Dontavian Wicks can kind of shed light on that type of situation. Coming from the Packers room, where they had several receivers in that room,
Yes.
all with 400 or 500 receiving yards or more. So they did it by committee, and I'm very much hoping that we see much of that. I would actually prefer that style of offense, just because from a defense perspective, I don't know who to key on, right? You come in last year, I know I got to focus on AJ. I know I got to focus on Smitty when it comes to the pass. Now it could be Smitty, it could be Lemon, it could be Wicks, yeah, Holly, it could be anybody. That
Mhm.
just helps the passing game out
That definitely helps the
official
passing game
wise.
out. Yes, bro. And especially with us formerly playing safety and corner, that's harder to game plan against.
Exactly.
It's easier when you're game planning for a team that has one receiver. Okay, well, just to your point, we're focusing solely on them. We're going to shade coverage to them. We're going to double team them. That's easy. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy. But
Mhm.
like you said, when you have multiple weapons, you don't know who to game plan against. And then on top of that, I like the fact that when we spread the wealth, depending on who gets hot, we can go to them.
Facts.
It might be Makai Lemon one week. It might be Smitty. It might be Dontavian Wicks. But you don't have a receiver in your ear clamoring saying, "Hey, hey, I was open on that play. You
Distracting.
you ain't see me on that deep post. Hey, look, man, you got to look over here to the left. You no distractions. QB1, as we know, he don't like that confrontational stuff, man. Even forgot what game it was, but I remember it was QB1, AJ, and I believe Nick Sirianni were like, and I believe Patullo were all in the huddle and AJ talking. I know passion. I understand. I get it. But it's like, look, when we're trying to solve a problem here, all that rah-rah in the air, that's not helping. That's being a detriment to the situation. We're trying to come up with an idea and a strategy to execute
Yeah.
this play at a very effective level. And we over here and you crying and moaning, That's not what we need, bro. That's not what we need, especially when we're all in a winning organization. I can understand, bro. We trash. No slight. The Cardinals or somebody, the Titans, somebody. You feel me? And you're getting upset, but the cure should always be winning.
Winning.
And AJ Brown was more solely focused on his stats and making sure that he gets his targets. But now with that being out of the picture, and we got guys who just want to show up, ready to play football. If I get 2 targets or if I get 12 targets, you'll be proud because you know that you helped the offense in the way that you did. And then on top of that, we still get the win. That's all you can ask for, bro. That's all you can really ask for. But we gotta switch over to our newest addition here in Philadelphia. We're excited for this one because, man, if y'all don't know about this bull, he going to show y'all. He did his thing down with the Texans and with the Vikings, and now we have him here in Philadelphia, and that's Mr. Jonathan Greenard, and why he can possibly be that missing piece for Godfather, the Don Vic Fangio. So we got to talk about one of our favorite moves of the entire off season. And like I said, we got to talk about Jonathan Greenard because this move could very well end up being one of the biggest reasons Philly's defense takes another step forward. All right. So when people look at Jonathan Greenard, they immediately look at the sack numbers. And yes, his sack production did drop last season, but also he was battling injury while he was with the Minnesota Vikings. But if you ain't already know, football is bigger than just sacks, even though we love some sacks, all right? This is a player who consistently wins on the edge. His pass rush win rate clearly shows that. His ability to create pressure shows that as well. His ability to affect the quarterback in the pocket also shows up. Look, as a defense, at the time, it kind of was a loss early in free agency, losing Jalen Phillips to the Carolina Panthers. So, in essence, that created a huge void for the edge position on our defense. And we know that we needed another impact edge defender. And that's where Howie, Jeffrey Lurie, Vic Fangio, I'm sure of, they identified Jonathan Greenard and said, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. It's that midnight green medicine for Jonathan Greenard. And what does Vic Fangio have that a lot of other defensive coordinators or coaches don't have? And that's discipline. And that's versatility as well in his scheme. Players who can win their individual one-on-one reps. Players who understand the assignment that is asked of in the defense. And Jonathan Greenard could give Philadelphia another player who can attack quarterbacks while allowing Vic Fangio to continue being creative with the defense. Now, take a moment real quick. All right? Imagine this, okay? Imagine this defensive front. You got Bread Man Carter, Jalen Carter. You got Jordan Davis, Moro Ojomo, Jonathan Greenard, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell. Look, those names that I listed right there, this defense proves that they're going to have speed at all 3 levels, okay? This defense not only will have speed, but they will have power. They'll have versatility, a word that is used here often in Philadelphia. But look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, if we're keeping it a beam right now, we know how much we love our defensive line here in Philadelphia. We can go all the way back to the Reggie White days. But look, Jonathan Greenard might, in fact, be that missing piece that unlocks this entire group. And to Husky's point earlier in the video, we already are elite on offense. If we take another step forward, it can really be spooky for the rest of the NFL because it's no reason why we can't get the number one ranked defense in the entire NFL, man. We have dogs at every single level, whether young or seasoned, a seasoned veteran. We have star power at every single level here in Philadelphia, and we're excited, man, because the defense they was putting in work last year because
Nah, they absolutely put in work last year for real.
yes,
And I like about JG, no Jonathan Gannon, Mr. Greenard here. He's a complete edge rusher. I mean, my man affects the pass, and he's just as good at affecting the run.
a run, yep,
You know what I'm saying? There's no, he's not lacking anything. And then he could teach these other young pups in the room how to get down. He's a solid player. It seems like he's going to be a good teammate. Another thing I like about it, as opposed to a Jalen Phillips, where we got him, I believe it was a week 4 or 5, somewhere
it's
last
something
season,
something around
somewhere
there.
around that mark. Greenard, he's getting the whole off season to assimilate, get to know his teammates, them get to know him, you know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
they start learning tendencies and what they like and don't like about each other as far as things on the field, I guess, and off. But he's getting that camaraderie and getting that chance to blend and really, really get to know the scheme, get to know his personnel, his coaches, everything else. I think it's going to pay dividends as we start to move on and get closer to the season. Just how he continues to make the right moves.
Yes.
Like I said, after we lost Jalen Phillips, a lot of us we were sitting back like, who we gonna get? Gennard's name kept popping up, but we weren't sure they're gonna pull the trigger on that or not. And eventually they did. Now we sitting here like this room just got that much better. He might be that missing piece that puts us over the edge.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully. Now another move that deserves attention, and you've been hearing his name all spring, all summer so far. Reek Woolen. Right? The Eagles signed Reek to a 1-year deal worth $12 million. And honestly, fam, this just feels, once again, classic Howie Roseman move. My man is cool to the other side of the pillow, man. He didn't panic. He didn't overpay. He waited. And then he found value. And as a fan, that's all I can ask for. I mean, if you're going to pay, get the right player. You know what I'm saying? But here he was like, solid player, decent price, bring him in. And when you look at the numbers, Woolen has elite traits. 6'4", 210, ran a 4.2, converted from receiver to corner, had an insane amount of interceptions. I believe it was his rookie season. But over the past 4 seasons, he ranks among the best cornerbacks in football in limiting explosive plays. And as we know about a Vic Fangio defense, that's the whole presence of defense. Limit the explosive plays. Nothing gets behind you, right? So Mr. Owens just took you on a little trip. Now ride with me real quick. Imagine this, right? Our secondary, Quinyon Mitchell on the outside, Cooper DeJean in the slot, and then Reek Woolen, CB2. Far upgrade over Adoree Jackson, who got better over the season. But
he definitely did. Yeah.
Far upgrade. You feel me? Like, this might be the deepest cornerback room in the NFL, and maybe one of the best cornerback rooms we've had in Philadelphia. And we've had a couple corners come through here, truly. But you talking about a 1, 2, 3 outside and inside? Come on,
we ain't never had that, bro.
Nah, bro. Nah, not outside and inside. And then you have in today's NFL where passing offenses dominate, having 3 talented corners, bro, it's next level. That's championship caliber defense. That allows us to line up with anybody, anywhere, and hold our own, whether it's man or zone. Vic, Jeff, Howie, bro, you're putting on a masterclass performance. That's straight up.
Where's the sign-up sheet? We need to go to the master class, bro. Like you said, how we be working his magic and doing his thing. And that's why every single season we feel confident going into the season with our roster and feeling good about the season with us being in championship contention because Howie gives us every single reason, every single season to feel that way, man. And I wanted to touch a little bit on the cornerbacks because, like you said, here in Philly we haven't had three legit
Not three.
corners. Like now, we want to go back. We had the Troy Vincents and Bobby Taylor's tandems, and then we had Lito Shepard, Sheldon Brown tandem. Then after that, it kind of went to off of tandems to individuals.
solo.
Then that's when we got Sante Samuel. Then after Sante, that's when we got Big Play Slay.